such a sweet mom. I didn't know you had a kid. Sir, why the fuck would you know I had a kid? Please tell me. Like you're pouring tequila down my throat in the club and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, by the way, I have a child. And plus, like, why?
2022 dating, everybody. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video, and on today's episode, guys, we are going to be continuing the trend of single mothers being mad at men because men don't want to date them. But before we jump into today's episode, guys, as always, remember to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. Their channels, as always, guys, will be linked in the video description, so make sure that you go and show them some love. But I'm going to let this full clip of this woman play through first, and then we're going to break it down together. So let's take a listen to what this individual has to tell us.
Dating as a single mom, one of my biggest pet peeves. When you meet a man out, meet him on a dating app, online, at a club, wherever, follows you on Instagram, you post a picture of your kid, and all of a sudden you get that message that, oh my god, you're such a sweet mom, I didn't know you had a kid. Sir, why the fuck would you know I had a kid? Please tell me. Like you're pouring tequila down my throat in the club and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, by the way, I have a child. And plus, like, why would I even tell you that? Like, I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you from a bucket of paint. Why would I inform you about my little chicken nugget that I have running around? That makes no sense. Like it really makes no sense, and it's baffling. Why do you feel the need to let me know that you know that I have a child? I know I have a kid. I don't need you to tell me that I have a kid. I see her every day. Like,
There are so many things that are wrong with this video, I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to cover it from top to bottom. We're going to break down the pieces that she said here, guys. But let me just say right off the bat, okay? We have here a single mother who is surprised that men go, oh, you have a child? And of course, guys, what that really means is men start to lose interest in her when they find out that she has a child. Okay, and part of the reason that maybe men don't think that you have a kid is because you are, quote, getting tequila poured down your neck at your club with random guys that you don't know. So let's just jump in and we're going to break it down piece by piece. And guys, I've actually caught a fair bit of flack recently for saying that men should not date single mothers. I thought that this was common sense. I thought that any guy with self-respect is not going to be dating a single mother. But, we have all of these people who seem to think that it's a good idea. Guys, I've said this before and I will continue to say it. I do not think that men should be dating single mothers. I think it is a waste of your time. I think that investing in a child that is not yours is absolutely silly. But let's take a listen and we're going to break it down piece by piece here because there's a lot to unpack.
Dating as a single mom, one of my biggest pet peeves. When you meet a man out, meet him on a dating app, online, at a club, wherever.
I love how the places that this woman meets men, by the way, dating app, club, or online. So let's break that down. So basically she meets her men from Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever else is out there. I don't know, sugar baby websites for all I know. She meets her men from these applications. Okay, or she meets them at the club on the dance floor, or she meets them from Instagram. Guys, this is one of the reasons why dating is so absolutely screwed, is because completely average women who have children with another man, have so many options when it comes to dating. A girl like this who literally has a child can jump on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Instagram, go down to a local club and find dudes that are willing to have a relationship with her or willing to have fun with her. Now, the guys who are willing to have a relationship with her after she has a kid, in my view, lack self-respect. But the way she sources men, she's never going to find a good man anyway. Like, the guys who this woman would be chasing on social media apps and dating apps and in the club, these guys are typically not men who are going to be interested in committing to you at all, whether or not you have a child to begin with. But let's keep going.
Follows you on Instagram, you post a picture of your kid, and all of a sudden you get that message that, oh my god, you're such a sweet mom, I didn't know you had a kid. Sir, why the fuck would you know I had a kid?
I mean, you chose to post the kid, right? The reason why the man is shocked when he finds out that you have a kid is because you're out in the club each weekend seeing random dudes. That's why the guy is shocked and surprised, because we as men, we would assume, or at least we would hope, that if you had a child, you wouldn't be shaking your booty at the local club every weekend, or you wouldn't be on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge for 90% of the time. Like, we as men, we're wrong for assuming this, I suppose, but that's the reason why the man is shocked that you have a kid. And also, if you get with these guys and after the fact they find out you have a kid, because that's what this woman is really complaining about, guys. Like, if you think about it for a second and you peel back the layers, okay, this woman is frustrated because men are realizing she has a kid and then going, I don't really want to deal with that. I don't want to have a relationship. Maybe I won't even use her as some recreational fun, because that's just not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in coming along and taking care of another man's child. Let's keep going.
Please tell me. Like, you're pouring tequila down my throat in the club and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, by the way, I have a child. And plus, like, why?
2022 dating, everybody. And this is the kind of crap, by the way, that men see and they're like, yeah, look, I'm not really interested. Okay? Of course the guy doesn't think you have a child when you're in the club, you know, doing this sort of degenerate behavior. He's going to think, oh, okay, she's just this way, but he probably wouldn't think that you were silly enough to have a kid and come out and do these bad behaviors. That's why the guy is shocked. And this is why men, when they meet you, when they see you doing things like these, and then they see that you also have a kid, they don't want to date you. They don't want to marry you. Guys, if you go to the TikTok page and you type in hashtag single mother, or, you know, a hashtag like that, you'll see a lot of women complaining about men not taking them seriously, or about how difficult their life is, despite the fact that they're either getting payouts from men or payouts from the government, which, by the way, a taxpayer, i.e. men's money anyway, right? Saying that life is so difficult for them. Yet here they are, shaking their booty at the club with random dudes that they don't know, complaining when the man finds them on Instagram, which she probably gave away, and was surprised that she had a child.
Why would I even tell you that? Like, I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you from a bucket of paint. Why would I inform you about my little chicken nugget that I have running around?
I mean, you informed the world by posting the individual in question on Instagram. So, like, that would be a good reason why the man would know. And it's just so telling, okay? These are the same individuals. Now, I don't know this woman personally, okay? But oftentimes, these are the same individuals who will preach things like self-love, and having respectable boundaries and not letting poisonous people into your life. And here we are at the club with dudes, in her own words, that she doesn't even know, complaining. You know what I mean? Like, again, guys, the people who say, oh, here are my boundaries, I'm healed, I'm a queen, I'm a boss babe, and yet they just let random dudes into their life from the club. Like, how did the dude even find you on Instagram? Let's, like, cut the bullcrap here. She probably gave her Instagram, she probably gave her Snapchat to these guys, and then they see a story of a child, and they're like, yeah, look, I'm not really interested in talking to you anymore. And then all of a sudden, we end up with a TikTok like this.
That makes no sense. Like, it really makes no sense, and it's baffling. Why do you feel the need to let me know that you know that I have a child?
I mean, the same can be said for you, right? Why do you feel the need to post that you have that, and then are surprised when people are like, oh, wow, you have that? That's like me posting something. Okay, I post it publicly available to literally everybody, and then I'm surprised when people reply and go, oh, Taylor, I didn't know you had that. Of course, I'm posting it publicly to literally everybody. That's kind of like me as well, right? It's like you display one thing and then you have another. So it's like me, and let's just say I'm like homeless or something, and then all of a sudden I post a Lamborghini. People are going to be like, Taylor, where'd you get that Lamborghini? It's the same thing. If you're being a degenerate in the club and then you post a child, you're going to get responses from people being like, I did not know that you had a kid.
I know I have a kid. I don't need you to tell me that I have a kid. I see her every day. Like,
And that's the end of that clip. And guys, we have another clip here, and this is a bit of an interesting one. I thought that I would play this one second in the video because it does have some nuance here. But this woman is basically going to complain to us. And again, this relates back into dating as a whole at the moment, where a lot of women, they're choosing the dudes at the top I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the 80-20 rule, which basically says, 80% of women are getting with the top 20% of men. And a lot of women have a problem with that. They see a lot of women going after these top percentage of dudes, being unable to get commitment, being cheated on, and they, of course, have a problem with it. So we're going to play through this woman's video, and I do think that she makes some sense, but she kind of loses it at the end. So let's take a listen.
So I'm just disgusted in women right now. I will say I think there's more in my tribe than this other group of women's tribe, but this woman on TikTok posted, I'm not even gonna try to share her because she is just gross, but she posted about the woman that's been sleeping with her husband, and instead of her so upset, she's like, well, I'm the one that has the lake house and I have all the cars and I have all the money. And it's like she doesn't even care. She's like, I'm not gonna leave him. I like my lifestyle. And that to me is so disgusting.
And you know what, guys? I'll give her credit for that. I'll say fair point, okay? But what I will also say is that a lot of women want to do that. A lot of girls will be happy to share a dude who's in the top percentage. They might not like the fact that he's getting around to other women, and obviously I think cheating is just a completely abhorrent thing to do to another individual. And I do think it's rather disgusting, but the truth is, guys, a lot of women would be happy to share a top percentage man, whether that be in terms of looks and how much money he earns and things like that. There are women who go out there and who choose to do that. And the reason why I actually empathize with this woman's position, guys, is because I would say the exact same thing about simps. I think it's disgusting that men would lower themselves enough to stay with women who cheat on them, or to stay with women who, treat them like crap and things like that. So I can certainly see where this woman is coming from, guys. People just allowing themselves to be walked all over. But you've got to understand that some people are stupid enough to take these decisions, and it is what it is. I can't stop simps from simping. Apparently I've made a difference. I see a lot of comments of guys who come across my content at this point and they feel like they've learned something from it, which is fantastic. But I can't stop every simp from simping, nor can you stop every woman who wants to go out and get with a dude and stay with him because she gets money and stuff like that. You just can't stop them. You got to keep it moving. But let's see this next part that she says here, because it starts to get really quite degenerate at this next part.
And I think that's what is wrong with society, is that there is just no loyalty. The one quality I look for in men, which doesn't exist, mind you, is blind loyalty. If I am not in the room, you should never say a bad word about me. You should be totally loyal to me. You should not complain about me to your friends. You should not be going around talking about other women, sharing photos of other women. Blind loyalty. Why is that not a thing anymore? It's just not. And half these women,
I'm going to have to pause you there and say that a lot of men are actually loyal. There are a lot of loyal men out here who would be happy to give you a relationship, who wouldn't cheat on you and do all of these things. And this is where I start to lose these women, guys, because they'll say things like this. They'll say something reasonable and I'll think to myself, yeah, I can make sense of that. That logically makes some sense. And then they'll say things like, men are never loyal, right? Or why can't I find a good man? Or dudes always do this to me, when in actual fact it comes down to their selection process in men. Okay, if you are shooting for a top percentage man, and girls don't seem to understand what a top percentage man really looks like. I watched a video from Arbor and Preach recently, guys, and they were talking about income distribution, okay? And a lot of the girls were saying, oh yeah, I just want a guy who can pay the bills, whatever. And everyone was going, okay, that makes sense. You want a guy who's stable, makes sense. And then they go on to say things like, oh, he needs to make at least 100K a year. He needs to make at least 200K a year. And what these women refuse to acknowledge is that if you're shooting for a guy who's in these brackets, whether it's in terms of money or looks, these are actually rare men. And the odds of them being loyal to you are quite damn low, because they have no reason to be loyal to you, because they're just going to go and choose some other girl who's less of a pain in his neck, okay? So if you want to sit here and say that men aren't loyal, maybe the dudes at the top aren't loyal because they have all the options, but I tell you what, most guys don't have a lot of options, and most guys would be happy, content in a relationship with you, being serious and being monogamous. But of course, a lot of these girls can never really see that.
women out there are just gold diggers. I live in Southwest Florida, and my God, all I hear is women talking about, oh, well, I don't want more kids, but I mean, if a rich guy wanted to have a kid with me, I would, so I could just have them forever. And I'm just disgusted by people in general.
Yep, and that's the way it goes. A lot of women will go out there and they'll try and lock down a guy who makes a lot of money. I've seen a lot of stories of baby trapping or all of these sorts of different situations, guys. But make sure you drop a comment and let us know what you think down below. But guys, we're going to be wrapping up today's episode with a Reddit story, and just a bit of a warning, guys, this is an absolutely disgusting one here. I have no way of really going, yeah, this is a pleasant one, because it is really not. So here we have a woman who has cheated on her boyfriend. Now she's 20 years old, and the boyfriend is also 20 years old. But basically, she's come on here, guys. She's cheated on her boyfriend, and now she's looking for some pity points. So let's take a listen. I, a 20-year-old female, went out with my friends a couple of months ago and cheated on my boyfriend, who was a 20-year-old male. There goes those girls' nights again, guys, right? Just going out with the girls. I didn't sleep with anyone. It was making out and a bit of touching. Not that that makes it any better. I'm not trying to minimize what I did. The person I cheated with was a good friend of mine. Wow. I don't know why I did it. It might be in part to do with seeking validation, as I've always struggled with low self-worth, but honestly, I don't know. I don't remember what I was thinking when it happened. Poor cheater, guys. Poor little cheater here. But of course, guys, you know, it's the good friend of hers, the guy who's just a friend, and she's just going out for the girls' night. It amazes me how men, like, we get made fun of and we get called insecure when we say things like, hey, girls' nights are a red flag, or male friends are a red flag. And then you see situations like this and you start to think, hey, maybe the men aren't so crazy. Let's keep going. The day it happened, I messaged my boyfriend, told him what happened, and told him we should break up because he deserved better. True. The 2 days following that, my friend, not the one I cheated with, had had to come and pick me up to pretty much watch me because I wasn't eating or sleeping, and there was some pretty concerning things going on. So basically, guys, she felt really bad. Woe is her. She felt so guilty and ashamed, and she hated herself for it, and she knew that how she was feeling was nothing compared to what she put her boyfriend through. True. The third day after it happened, I spoke to my boyfriend face to face. I was expecting him to shout at me, swear at me, even do bad things. He's the kindest person I know and would never do anything, but I felt I deserved it. He said that he was massively hurt, angry, and confused, but that he wanted to work through it if I was 100% committed to putting the effort in. So her boyfriend, I'm just going to come out and say it, is a complete dumbass. He's after a lot of crying and talking, we managed to get things back on track. I've massively reduced my contact with the person it happened with. No messaging, no calling. I see him for an hour at work 3 days a week, but it's just a polite hi. Yeah, don't worry, guys. The man who she cheated with, she's reduced her contact with. She hasn't removed it. She hasn't changed work or anything like that. The boyfriend was stupid enough to take her dumbass back. But don't worry, guys. She has reduced the contact with the man that she cheated with. Fantastic stuff here. I've started therapy, and I'm supposed to be going back on SSRIs soon, anxiety and D-word medication, I'm assuming. I've been 100% honest and open with my boyfriend, answered any questions he had, and done everything I can to make this right. I genuinely love him more than anything, in brackets, but I cheated. And after a truly crap couple of months, it's going really well again. But every time I look at him, all I can see is how much I hurt him. Every day I feel so guilty and ashamed and hate myself, and I keep apologizing to him and getting upset over what happened. I feel like a terrible person, and like I don't deserve anything good in my life, especially him. He's the first person in my life to make me feel properly safe and loved, and I completely broke his trust and hurt him so badly. I just needed to get that off my chest. So obviously, guys, we have a victim here, someone who's had it really rough after she cheated on her boyfriend. But I think it's funny how she brings it back up repeatedly with the guy. I can't remember where exactly it was said in here. I think it's at the end here, but she repeatedly brought this back up with the guy. But I wanted to show you guys some of these comments, because for once Reddit seems to be pulling through with some of these comments here. So let's take a read. Blah blah blah. Let's take a look at this. This one I like. Damn, poor dude is probably deep in the sunk cost fallacy if he's willing to stick with you. Guy can definitely do better than the person he's stuck with. You hate to see it, man. And let's continue. Another person here says he deserves better. And then my favorite comment of the whole thread says, your boyfriend is a fool. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. And without further ado, guys, make sure that you all take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.